Welcome back to the Business Ignite podcast, where we light the fire for business growth and marketing success. Your hosts, Ethan Walker and Samantha Reed, bring you the latest trends, expert insights, and actionable strategies to fuel your business journey. Let's ignite your potential.
All right, so you know how everyone's always saying, your website needs to work for you? Well, today, we're diving deep into how to actually make that happen.
Yeah, we're talking practical steps, stuff you can actually use.
Whether your site's like your passion project or the heart of your business, it's all about those smart tweaks that make a difference.
And luckily, we've got a great guide for that today.
Oh, yeah.
There's this article from 95Visual. It's called How to Improve Your Website's Design. Really good stuff. Very actionable.
Okay, so no confusing jargon.
None. They get straight to the point, which I appreciate.
Love that. So what's the first thing they jumped into?
Right away, they're talking about the call to action button.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're saying it needs to be front and center, like super obvious.
Like it's the most important thing on the page. So why is that?
Well, think about it this way. When you land on a website, what do you want people to do?
Buy something, sign up, get in touch.
Exactly. That's your call to action. Putting it in the header, it's like no matter what page someone lands on,
They see it.
boom, right there. It's about making it as easy as possible for people to actually do the thing you want them to do.
Makes sense. No more hiding that contact me button at the bottom of the page then, right?
Yeah. Make it easy.
Okay, so speaking of user experience, which is what this all comes down to, right? There was this phrase in the article that really caught my eye. They called them leaky pages.
Leaky pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like those pages on your site that just aren't really working.
Yeah, they're not doing their job.
Exactly. It might be that nobody's visiting them, or people are bouncing right off, not sticking around.
So how do you even figure out which pages are the leaky ones?
Data. Data is key.
Okay, so like what, looking at your website analytics?
Exactly. The article really stresses using tools like Google Analytics. It can show you things like bounce rate, which is how many people leave a page after only viewing that one page.
Right.
Like 95Visual says if that bounce rate for a specific page is over 70%,
Oh, wow.
that's a leaky page.
And it's a big leak. So, okay, you've identified the problem. You found your leaky page. What do you do about it?
Well, you've got to figure out why it's leaking, right?
Okay.
Is the information buried somewhere hard to find?
Mm-hmm.
Is the design confusing? Maybe the content isn't what people are looking for.
It's like detective work almost.
It is.
Yeah.
But once you know why it's happening, then you can actually start fixing it.
Okay, I like that. So we're getting into the nitty-gritty of design here. And I know the article talks about making your site mobile friendly,
Of course. Yeah.
which seems obvious now, right, in 2024.
Absolutely. I mean, so many people are browsing on their phones these days.
Right. If your site's a mess on a phone, forget it. People are gone.
Exactly.
But they also talk about this idea of design etiquette, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Design etiquette. I like that. It's like you're thinking of your website visitor as a guest.
Oh, I like that.
You want to make them feel welcome, comfortable.
So what does that actually look like when we're talking about a website? Give me some examples.
Well, it's everything from using fonts that are easy to read, even on a small screen. Having enough contrast so people aren't squinting to read your text.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about your layout. Making it easy for people to find what they're looking for.
So it's all about that user friendliness.
Exactly.
Have you ever been to a website that just feels like a headache to look at? You know?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Cluttered, confusing. I don't stay there long.
Nobody does. And that's something else 95Visual talks about, making sure your contact info is easy to find.
Oh, right.
They actually suggest, like, put everything out there.
Ugh.
Email, phone number, even your physical address, if it makes sense for your business.
Okay.
Social media links, all that. Even think about having a live chat feature if you can swing it.
Oh, interesting. Like that little chat box that pops up.
Exactly. It's all about making yourself accessible.
So don't be shy. Let people get in touch with you.
Exactly. The easier you make it for people to reach out, the more trustworthy you seem.
That's a good point. It shows you're not hiding anything.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the user experience, but what about the more technical stuff? Did the article get into that at all?
Oh, yeah, they definitely touch on the technical side of things. One thing they highlight is making sure your site is compatible with different browsers.
Oh, right.
Which is something a lot of people don't even think about.
Yeah, you just assume everyone's using the same browser as you are, but it can be a nightmare if your site looks broken in a different one.
Exactly. Like, you've spent all this time making it look perfect in Chrome, but then someone opens it in Firefox and it's totally messed up.
Been there.
It's frustrating for everyone involved. And 95Visual makes a really good point. when you ignore something as basic as browser compatibility,
Yeah.
you're potentially turning away visitors without even realizing it.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Okay, so switching gears a bit here, I noticed that 95Visual kept coming back to this idea of focus on the visitor,
Yeah.
which I thought was really interesting. It's so easy to get caught up in our own stuff when we're building a website, you know?
Yeah. Get excited about your own work, your own ideas.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about the people visiting our site, right?
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
Your website should be designed for them, not for you.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we shift our mindset from look at all the cool stuff I do to here's how I can help you?
Well, a lot of it comes down to clarity. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever landed on a website and it's just this massive wall of text?
The worst.
Tiny fonts, no visuals. It's overwhelming.
It's like they don't want you to read it.
Right. 95Visual actually recommends a minimum font size of 14 or 16 points
Oh, wow, okay.
for body text, just to
Oh.
make it easier to read, especially on a phone. And then, of course, make sure there's enough contrast between your text color and the background.
Oh, that's huge. Those light gray fonts on a white background, I can't even.
The worst.
I'm immediately clicking out of there.
Yeah, it's just not worth the eye strain. And then once you've got the visuals down, you got to make sure the content itself is actually engaging.
Right, content is king, as they say. But what kind of content are we talking about here?
Content that provides value to the visitor. Content that answers their questions, solves their problems.
So instead of just talking about ourselves and our accomplishments, we should be focusing on the needs of our ideal visitor.
Exactly. What are they struggling with? What information are they searching for?
It's about putting ourselves in their shoes,
Exactly.
understanding their perspective.
And 95Visual actually recommends using tools like Google Analytics to help with this.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, you can see things like what pages people are visiting the most, how long they're staying on each page, what they're clicking on.
So you can see what's resonating with people
Exactly. And what's falling flat.
and use that information to make your website even better.
Precisely. It's all about using data to improve the user experience.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've talked about user experience, design etiquette, technical considerations, content strategy.
That's a lot.
It is. This article is packed with information, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
Me too. There's so much good stuff in there.
But before we wrap things up, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on, something that really stood out to me from the article.
Okay, we're curious. What is it?
So they were talking about your homepage, right?
Okay.
And how important it is to make sure it really clearly communicates who you are and what you offer.
Yeah.
And they said, like, if visitors don't get it right away, you might not get another chance to tell them.
That first impression is so key.
Totally. It's like that old saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So true.
Your homepage is like the front door to your website.
It is, yeah.
It needs to grab people's attention, get them interested,
Absolutely.
make it crystal clear what you're all about from the get-go.
And 95Visual really emphasizes being clear and concise, especially on the homepage.
Yeah. People don't have a lot of time.
No, they don't. People are busy, they're going to skim, so you've got to get to the point quickly.
So what are some of their tips for doing that?
Well, they say your headline is huge.
Okay.
Make sure it's attention-grabbing, and that it actually says what you do.
Right, right.
Then use bullet points or short paragraphs to highlight the key stuff.
Like the benefits or what makes you unique?
Exactly. And don't be afraid to use visuals.
Oh, yeah. Images, videos, that kind of thing.
For sure, they can really grab people's attention and get your message across quickly.
It's like a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Exactly.
So it's all about making it as easy as possible for people to understand what you do and how you can help them.
Right away, as soon as they land on your site.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I have a ton of ideas for my own website now.
Me too. And the best part is, it's all doable.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be a tech wizard to implement this stuff.
Exactly. It's more about the approach, really. Thinking about the user, keeping things clear and easy to understand.
And using data to help guide your decisions.
Yes. Okay, so before we wrap up here, any final words of wisdom for our listeners as they go forth and conquer their own website makeovers?
You know, I think it always comes back to that idea of focusing on the visitor.
Yeah.
Like we were saying before, it's not about you, it's about them. It's about providing value, answering their questions, making the whole experience on your website as enjoyable as possible.
It's about making it easy for them.
Exactly. If you can do that, you're golden.
I love that. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. As you're working on your website, imagine you're the one visiting it for the first time. What's your experience like? Is it clear what you offer? Is it easy to find what you're looking for?
Would you want to stick around and learn more?
Those are great questions to ask yourself. All right, everyone, that is a wrap on another deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another adventure in knowledge and insight.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Ignite podcast, where we fuel your business growth and marketing success. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us. It does help others find the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Business Ignite Podcast and share this episode with a friend. Keep the fire burning, and remember, your success is just one strategy away. Until next time, stay ignited.